One of the crucial parts of manifestation is to pay attention to the signs that we constantly receive from the universe or God, whichever you prefer to name it. Everyone at some point feels like they've done everything they could to achieve their dreams, but felt they were waiting in vain. But the question is, are you paying attention, or do you know what signs to look for? If we ignore them, could lead to us giving up on our desires without realizing that we are just about to manifest. Once I heard the following words from one of the conversations with Louise Hay.
The universe, a chance to find the solution. And I have seen it work miracles. It gets you through things, the phone can ring and there can be a solution, something will happen.
And that made me research further the synchronicity subject. But what is synchronicity? The concept of synchronicity was developed by a psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, Carl Jung, in the early 1900s, which he defined as a meaningful coincidences. I will now share some of the signs I used to ignore, but nowadays makes all sense to me. Once you realize how easy it is to recognize them, you will discover how many alerts you missed. My name is Rose, and welcome to my channel. Synchronicity is meant for you and will only mean something related to you. It's a way to receive a message that we are on the right path to our dreams.
You know, if you think for a moment about the vastness of the universe, it is so incredibly big that our human minds cannot comprehend it. It is enormous. And even our top scientists with the most up-to-date equipment today cannot measure the size of the universe. And half of them won't agree on whether it's expanding or contracting.
The universe has its own way of sending us messages. And although sometimes we don't understand that language fully, usually the answers are in front of us and happen through experiences. So here are some of my own synchronicities examples. Some I will share through illustrations, but they are limitless and usually tailored for each individual. So number 1, follow your instincts. So I was looking to change my job sometime last year, but had no luck for several months. Then I was suddenly invited to a party unrelated to my job hunt. I had no intention of going. I didn't feel like it at all, but somehow I could not stop thinking about it. Because I had that weird feeling that something higher than me was calling me to go there, even though I thought I would not enjoy it, I ended up going. Then magically, during a random conversation, I found out that one of my friends, whom I didn't see or speak for ages, was working for a company that offered the exact type of job and hours I was looking for. And on top of that, they told me that they were looking for people. I didn't think twice. The next day, I immediately contacted her. And to cut the rest of the story short, in less than 2 weeks, I was employed with the exact hours and conditions I was looking for. Now imagine if I had decided not to go to that party. I would not find out about that specific job vacancy, and perhaps it would take me much longer to get what I wanted. This is only one of the many possible examples. Some people would call it a happy coincidence. I call it a sign. I was attracted through my desire to be at the right place at the right time. But if I ignored that sign, the result would have been entirely different. Number 2, repeated numbers. When you start seeing combinations such as 111, 222, 333, 444, and so on all the time, you can be sure this is a sign that whatever you are doing, you are either on the right path or you need to watch out where you're going. Unfortunately, I only started to pay attention to this about 4 years ago. There are no limits to where the numbers will appear. It can be in your clock, bank account, car registration, or a phone number. It doesn't matter. The important part is to pay attention when this happens to you. I will leave some channels in the description where you can learn a bit more about the subject. And if you get interested, you will see how fascinating this can be. And number 3, be modest. Accept your response and trust the outcome. Sometimes we ask for things that we believe are the best for us, but are not. And we end up anxious about the answers, which gets in the way of manifestation. At the same time, if the universe does not respond precisely to what we expect, we end up disappointed. Also, sometimes we think we are ready to change our lives and receive what we ask for, but we are not. Then things don't happen the way we want, and we end up giving up. That is the biggest mistake we could possibly make. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had a completely opposite result from what you were expecting and felt like you were doing something wrong and was perhaps being punished? Then the day, months, or even years later, you realize that was the best thing to have happened. I have many personal stories, but the one that comes to my mind now is about my last job in Brazil before moving to the UK. At that time, I had just finished the university, bought a new car, was making many plans, and just over 1 year later, I had to leave that job. I had the option to stay, but I decided to accept redundancy for many reasons unrelated to this topic. At the time, I felt devastated and could not understand why that was happening. That kept me frustrated for a good few weeks. But only until a friend of mine that was already living in the UK, and she was living here for over a year, called me and asked if I wanted to move here as well, as she loved it. She mentioned there were loads of opportunities to work, travel, improve the language, etc. 6 months later, I was moving to London. This was 17 years ago, and I didn't regret it once. However, if I didn't accept the sign I received at that time to leave the job, I would more likely have said no to move here and perhaps might not have the wonderful life I have now. God is pure love and will never give or offer us anything different than that. So we need to have faith and trust that whatever is best for us will be sent at the right time.
I think even our concept of God must support us. And you do not have to have the same concept of God that your parents had or your grandparents had. You don't have to. Each person is a unique individual, and each one of us creates our own lifestyle and our own belief system. And I think we need to constantly reevaluate what we believe. And particularly if we believe things that don't nourish us. Think, why do I believe that? Where did I learn that? Is that really true for me now? Does it make sense? Maybe I could let that one go. You might create a pair of psychic scissors and cut them out of your consciousness. Or create a great big wastebasket and say, okay, that one goes there. And decide that you just do not choose to live under old limitations anymore. Refuse to believe in worry. Begin to trust the universe and watch how it works.
If this video helped you in any way, please don't forget to share it with others that also wish to live the extraordinary life they deserve. And if you decide to subscribe to my channel, please don't forget to activate the bell so you can get notification whenever I post new videos. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely day.